Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Brittany. Nice to meet you. Today we're going to be talking all about rice water rinses, what they are, how to make them, and whether or not they actually live up to all the claims. Like, can they make your hair grow long? We're gonna discuss it all today, but before we get started, I listed all of the sources for today's video in the description box below, so if you want more info on anything, make sure to check that out. And if you are not already subscribed to my channel, here we do all things curly hair, so if you want to rock your best curls, make sure to tap that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I post. Let's get into it. We're gonna start with the history of rice water, what it is, and how did it start. And so rice water kind of is what it sounds like. Essentially, it's a treatment done by soaking rice in water, then straining the rice and using the water as a topical hair treatment. But this treatment has actually been done for centuries. So to understand the history, we actually have to go back to Heian, Japan, way back when in 794 to about 1185 CE. Around this time, Japanese aristocratic women were wearing their hair as long as possible, just kind of laying it straight down their back. This was something that was done by women of status, and it's interesting because this trend of ultra long hair was actually a response to Chinese trends at the time. Chinese women were wearing their hair far shorter, and in response, Japanese women just started growing it out as long as possible, which I honestly think is kind of funny. Like, oh, you wear your hair short? Yeah, I never cut mine. To maintain their hair, these Japanese women combed it every single day with yusuru or rice water. Eventually, the trend of long hair fell out of favor in Japan, but the trend of ultra long locks being maintained with rice water continued elsewhere. Women in the Yao tribe of China cut their hair once in their life and grow it to be essentially floor length or longer. And once again, these women are maintaining their hair with rice water, and they use a traditional fermented rice water mix, which is also kind of mixed in with different botanicals like herbs and fruit. Alrighty, so now that we know the history, let's get into the claims. So given how rice water is traditionally used, it's no surprise that when you type in rice water rinse on Google, one of the first results is rice water rinse for hair growth. And that's the question on everyone's mind. Does rice water make your hair grow? And the answer is probably not. The thing is that the length your hair can possibly grow to is genetically determined. Your hair grows in three main stages. There's the anagen phase, the catagen phase, and the telogen phase. There's the anagen phase where the hair follicle is actively growing, the catagen phase where growth stops, and then the telogen phase where the follicle prepares to shed from your scalp. So the anagen phase is where your hair is actively growing, and it can last anywhere from 2 to 6 years. But how long the anagen phase actually lasts is what's genetically determined. So it's more than likely that these women who are able to get their hair to floor length just have awesome genetics. So then what about research? Are there any studies that prove that rice water has a benefit? And honestly, there's not much. A 2010 paper found that rice water may reduce surface friction and increase hair elasticity, which sounds good, but this study relied on historical examples and didn't really provide any supporting evidence. So there's not really any hard evidence tying rice water to having any specific benefits for hair. But here's what we do know. Rice is made up of many beneficial nutrients like amino acids, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, all of which can be good for your hair. It's thought that the process of soaking rice in water kind of lets these nutrients seep into the water and then impart a beneficial effect when applied to the hair. And the theory is that rice water is a great source of protein because of the amino acids in rice. So we know that protein has a lot of positive benefits for hair too. It can improve your hair's overall strength and structure, add shine, reduce breakage, improve its elasticity, and even temporarily repair damaged sections of the hair shaft. So everything that I just listed is something that you would need to grow your hair long. Like if your hair is prone to breakage, preventing that breakage is key in growing it out. Protein in general can help with your hair growth goals. It's not necessarily going to make your hair grow faster or make your hair grow longer, but it can help you maintain your length. But here's the thing. The protein that you find in your hair products and packaged protein treatments is usually hydrolyzed. The word hydrolyzed means to break down. So the ingredients in your hair products are broken down into smaller molecules so that they can be most effective. Protein that isn't hydrolyzed is too large and can't really be utilized by your hair. So any DIY treatment kind of falls into that non-hydrolyzed category. There's not much hard evidence that a rice water rinse does much for your hair. Clearly, this is a treatment that has been around for centuries, and I personally think that if it didn't do something, we wouldn't be talking about it today. So I want to talk a little bit about my personal experience. I've done rice water rinses and I've also done packaged protein treatments. And I found that the way my hair responds to a rice water rinse is similar to how it would respond to a packaged treatment. It makes my hair more bouncy, more shiny, and overall I've seen a positive effect. In addition, I've also recommended a rice water rinse to my followers when they were going through a hair funk. In one case, there was someone who I thought that their hair might be over moisturized, and I was like, look, before you go out and buy an expensive protein treatment, you have rice in your pantry, just whip up a quick rice water rinse and see what happens. And this is the message I got in response. So I think it worked. So once again, all we really have is anecdotal evidence here. From my personal experience, I've seen a positive benefit and my followers have as well. But if you want to know my favorite packaged protein treatment, I'm also going to discuss that at the end of this video, so stay tuned. Now that we know the history of rice water rinses and all the evidence, or lack thereof, let's talk about when you should do one. Like I mentioned, I've typically thought of a rice water rinse as a protein treatment. We've talked about this many times on my channel before, but curly hair is a balance of protein and moisture. So if your hair is feeling a little bit over moisturized, limp, not as bouncy, it's not lasting through the day anymore, oddly frizzy, mushy, it might be time for a protein treatment. And a rice water rinse is a super duper inexpensive way to kind of give your hair a little boost, in my experience. Now, if you need a little bit more info on when you should be doing a protein treatment, I'm gonna link my protein moisture balance videos up in the cards. That is essential viewing for my channel. So how often can you do a rice water rinse? So it really depends on how often your hair needs protein. So for me, I'm using high protein stylers pretty often in my routine. I would only really do one about once a month, but other people like to do them every week or every 2 weeks. So it really just depends on your schedule and what products you're using on a regular basis. But once again, I go through this entire way of thinking in my protein moisture balance video, so make sure to check that out. All right, so let's cut to the chase. How do you even make a rice water rinse?
So we're gonna start out with 1 cup of rice. I prefer to use white rice, but if you have brown rice in hand, feel free to use that as well. I definitely have more experience with the white rice though. So what I'm going to do is just pour this into a pot, and I'm going to take 4 cups of water. So this is a lot more water than you would typically use to make rice, but we want to save that water to use for our treatment. So I'm going to put this on medium-high and wait until it comes to a boil. This is just my preferred method of doing it. If you have a different way that you like to cook it, feel free. But once it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn the heat down to low and I'm going to put the top on. But just keep an eye on it in case it boils over, so you can just lift the top off to let some steam out and replace the lid. So once it's all done, you should have cooked rice with a lot of water left still. So I'm going to take a glass jar, just pop that in my sink with a fine mesh strainer on top, and pour the rice and the water so that all the rice water gets into my glass jar. Next, I'm taking my wooden spoon and pressing down just to make sure I have all of that water. And when you're done, you have this opaque liquid. So I'm just gonna pop this into a fridge. It should keep for up to a week, and I'll take it out right before I'm ready to use it.
Next, let's go over how you would even use your rice water. I like to just apply it straight to my hair, so I'll show you that in a sec. Other people like to use it with their deep conditioner. Before they hop in the shower, they'll take their deep conditioner and a little bit of rice water in a bowl, mix the two together, and then apply the treatment. So kind of a protein treatment and a deep conditioning treatment all in one. I prefer to apply my treatment separate, so that's what we're going to be going over today, just how I pour the rice water all over my hair.
Alrighty, so I'm just taking my rice water, which I had in the fridge earlier, and first I like to just dip my ends in it, and then I just pour it all over my head. Probably should have taken it out a little earlier because it was quite cold, but I'm just smoothing this over, making sure that my entire head is coated. You'll notice it's a little thick, so you might be able to kind of scoop it out with your fingers as well. But yeah, it's really cold, but I'm just kind of raking this through, and I'm gonna keep this on for about 10 minutes before rinsing. So I don't really recommend keeping it on for much longer than that, But after I rinse, I'm going to deep condition. So you don't always have to deep condition after you do a protein treatment, but today I felt like I needed one, so I just used my favorite Briogeo Don't Despair Repair, and then afterwards I rinsed and styled as usual.
And so these are my results after doing the rinse today, and I'm really happy with how it came out. My hair is super bouncy, shiny, feels well balanced. This was a success. Now, if you don't want to do a DIY treatment, there are alternatives that are way more convenient and proven to work. So this one is my absolute favorite. This is the Mender by Botanica Beauty, and it is just like such an amazing and effective treatment. I'm gonna post a picture of the last time I used it. Super duper easy to use. Essentially, you do it the same way that you would a rice water rinse. You just shampoo your hair, apply this all over your head, keep it on for a little bit, and then rinse, condition, and style as usual. So all of the proteins in this formula are hydrolyzed, so they should be small enough to have more of an effect on your hair than, say, a DIY treatment. So in here we have hydrolyzed collagen and hydrolyzed egg protein. I've seen more of an effect from a packaged treatment than I have from a rice water rinse, but once again, rice water rinse literally costs almost nothing because you have the rice already in your pantry probably, you can eat the leftovers, whereas this you have to buy. However, this is way more convenient. I don't always want to go downstairs and make rice, and it's not going to expire on you right away. So the rice water can really only last for up to a week in the fridge. This lasts for a year once you open it. So for me, this is a good investment. Now, this is the only packaged protein treatment that I've tried, but I also have heard good things about EcoSlay Matcha Boost. I know that Curls also has a protein treatment. I'm sure that there are many others, but could be a better option if you're not a DIY person. And once again, neither a rice water rinse or a packaged protein treatment are going to make your hair grow long, but this is something that can assist you with your hair length goals to help you maintain that length and keep your hair healthy and strong. And so that's that. I hope this answered every question that you have about rice water rinses, and if there's anything that I didn't answer, drop me a comment down below. But if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, whatever time it is, and I'll see you guys soon.